Hi, welcome to the round 9 review after the Blues beat the D's by a point. Yet again, another thriller against the Melbourne Footy Club. It's 12 goals 5, 77 to 11 goals 10, 76 in front of 58,500 people. Thursday night footy. A much needed win. We have been up against it for the last month. We've been playing the best teams in the competition, one after the other, over the last month, and it's pleasing to be able to see the group just find their way, to claw their way through and not let themselves fall into a hole. Obviously losing 2 in a row, you lose to the previous 2 premiers, you lose in devastating fashion to Collingwood last week. Bit of an emotionally charged result. Took a few days to get over it, but the 6-day break means that you had to move on quickly. I felt like I didn't truly move on until probably the Tuesday, maybe the Wednesday during the teams show. Got the spirit back up with the ticket giveaways, which was nice. And I'll be honest, going into the game against the D's, I definitely got sucked into the mainstream narrative. I just thought the D's were not playing at their best, but just about to hit their straps, and we were getting them at maybe a bad time. They're so good defensively. They force you to move the ball where they want you to move the ball, and they choke you up. And I just felt like we were probably going to fall into one more loss and then maybe respond against the Swans. That's the truth. I was thinking it was going to be a loss, but you still show up and anything can happen. Get to the MCG with my brother and my sister, childhood buddy of mine who's a mad Demon supporter, Dino. That was a lot of fun to be there with him. I didn't expect the rain. I didn't expect to see it. When I got there, it sort of started raining, and I was a bit surprised by that. When I saw George Hewitt was the sub, I started thinking to myself, did the club not expect that? I was surprised to see Hewitt start as the sub, whatever the policy is. I mean, there's just so much information that you don't know. But I was a little bit surprised to see that. Can I just say the first quarter, that was probably the most mature performance and style of play that I've seen from this group. We have been exciting. We've played with momentum and emotion. We've had great patches of play, which were maybe more exciting than the first quarter last night. But the way in which we cut angles, the way in which we made sure to find a mark 60 out before going deep with the entry, it was almost like watching a little bit of what we learnt from Collingwood, a little bit of what we learnt from Geelong, a little bit of what we learnt from GWS. We're scoring off turnover, rebounding so effectively. There was a maturity about it all, and we defended at a super high level. It started with the great end-to-end goal, and I think McGovern takes an intercept mark and just goes and ends up being a goal to Sam Walsh. But in that moment, you feel how important some of the individuals are. And I understand the system is what will win you a premiership, but the reality is your high-level players within your system allow your system to operate at a much higher level. So seeing McGovern straight away, he's got the ability to defend, intercept, and then go, and not wait around. He's an experienced player, high IQ player. So that was a great start. Mark Pitternet continues it's his career best form. Gets a really important free kick, shot on goal, takes his moment. Not known for kicking goals. He's kicked 2 this season already, so that's a great return already from what we've seen for him. That was important. Ollie Hollands, beautiful entry to Jack Martin. Then you start seeing Jack Martin's influence come into the game and how important he was. The quick entry off the turnover, Lockie Cowan deep to Harry. Harry kicks a goal. Then the rain starts to fall. At this point, we're 4 goals up. 4 goals straight to 0. And I just was noticing the entries were so much better. It was just pleasing to see it start to look like it was coming together. TDK gets a shot on goal. That was the one where I thought if TDK kicks this one, we're in for a good night, because it was generally a shot on goal that he probably misses. It wasn't a very deep entry. It was a bit more shallow, but he took the strong mark. And we're starting to see TDK's forward craft. This is the best we've seen it so far in his career. It's starting to really move. Quarter time, 30-0 up. We've played arguably the perfect quarter, you could say. We've kicked 5 goals straight. We've defended at a really high level, and I'm stoked with it. The game asks you to do certain things, and we did it. Most pleasing was the efficiency and the scoreboard pressure for the hard work that we had done to generate opportunities, and there's no pressure like scoreboard pressure, eh? Get to the second quarter, then we start seeing another layer to the forward structure. So Harry Mackay makes a really hard run deep into the goal square off in transition. Charlie, so it creates the space. Charlie hits up Matt Owies. Matt Owies kicks the goal, but it was just, that goal doesn't happen if Harry doesn't make that hard run. And I'm sure that's going to be highlighted in team meetings and the like, but that's what we've been lacking, moments like that. So I hope that they continue. Then eventually, Petrarca gets involved, and I mean, you can't talk about this game without at least acknowledging him. It's one of the most unbelievable individual performances against us that I've watched live. So he kicks his first, reads the play really well in the air, marks on McGovern. Then he takes another mark for his second goal. Charlie takes a big mark. At this point, he was bubbling. He hadn't quite gotten involved in the game, but he was getting there. Takes a really strong mark. He misses, unfortunately. Then Cripps kicks his roving goal. So it was moving along. I felt like every time the D's would get some momentum and wrestle it back, we would kick a goal or we would respond. It was really pleasing. Cripps then lowers his eyes, hits up Matt Owies. Again, these are those moments that we want to see more of. These are the moments that are going to be the difference between us staying as a solid side or a good side and becoming a great side. Cowan gives away a downfield free kick, which results in a goal to the D's. Get to halftime. I mean, we've restricted them so much. It was honestly, Petrarca was the only threat at halftime. I was very calm. It was one of those weird feelings at halftime where you're usually stressed. You're used to being stressed, but we'd played so well. I had nothing to complain about. Couple of things that you want to tidy up. I mean, downfield free kicks and little things like that. But I thought we had responded at every post that we needed to. It was interesting. The rebound 50s were heavily in our favour. We had doubled theirs. The contested marks were there. We were dominating in the air. Marks inside 50 to us, 7-2. Losing the hitouts 10-22, but winning the clearances 20-18. So all the elements of the numbers looked positive. Get to the third quarter. First up, clearance to Cripps, to Martin, who wheels around, kicks it in front of Charlie Curnow, which was smart because Stephen May in the air is such a threat. So you put it in front of Charlie and let him do some magic. Kicks a goal to start the third quarter. Up and about, mate. At that point, I'm thinking we could blow them away, but it's Melbourne. And they're so disciplined, they're so well drilled, and they are a great team. They've gone through the process that we're trying to go through right now. And so you always felt like they were going to come back. Cozzy responds straight away. I remember saying at that moment, gee, Chincotter's done an incredible job on Cozzy, and then bang, Cozzy kicks a goal. But the beauty of it was always then crumbs a goal straight away. Then Petrarca, another one. But Charlie reads the play out the back, forces Stephen May into the contest, reads the play, goal. So as much as what the D's were coming back at us, I remained calm because we kept responding on the scoreboard, more importantly. We were all over them. We looked laser sharp. There was a passage of play as well, and you talk about moments that seemingly matter, critical moments. Cozzy Pickett nearly kicks another one. Chincotta's effort to apply the pressure on Cozzy and force him to miss was inspirational from where I was watching it, and I can't sing his praises more. I was really up and about for him on the fan cams last night, and so that happens. Boyd was a little bit unlucky to get pinned. Chandler fortunately misses for us. Then we lose Chera. Does a hamstring. Hewitt comes on. I don't really know exactly how Chera had done it. I'm filming this first thing in the morning, and I don't exactly know what's going on. So I'll have a look at it. But then Fritsch gets his goal. Then an absolutely bullshit decision. I thought Mitch McGovern took a clear mark. When you watch the replay and you slow it down, I guess it could have gone either way. It's a 50-50 call. But I thought that was enough in real time to pay the mark. Everyone kind of stops. Petrarca runs on, kicks a goal. I was filthy at that one. Get to the fourth quarter. Still relatively confident, but you just knew the D's were going to put something together. They had played a really, professional style. They weren't really going for it until the fourth quarter, and you could just see that at some point they were just going to unload and just take a risk and see what happened. Started the fourth quarter pretty well, always with patience to TDK. There was a passage of play sort of in our pocket. He nearly takes the ball out of bounds always, but he just waits for TDK to sort of get there, and then he handballs to space. TDK kicks to the top of the goal square. Bit of a contest. Durden, beautiful handball at the ground level to Hewitt. Hewitt kicks a goal, really important. Then Harrison Petty takes a mark. He misses. At that point I'm thinking, the game is won. We've done all the elements to win the game had been achieved, I felt. And I thought no matter what, we were still going to win the game. The D supporters around me felt the same. I thought it was just game over. I always had a really crucial contest out on the halfback flank. Then I really started noticing a lot of whistles. Started raining a little bit more, and a few 50-50 calls didn't go our way, and that started getting the crowd a little bit more involved. D's get a goal over the top. I wasn't worried at this stage. I remember seeing a passage of play while we were setting up for goal. Charlie Curnow sort of sprints to Nick Newman. They had some sort of conversation about what to do, maybe about where to kick the ball, which I thought was interesting. Then the game started tightening up a bit more. We looked tired. We looked like a team playing their third game in 12 days. It looked like it. We didn't look as fresh as what the D's did. They were coming off a 5-day break, but they had 2 long breaks before that. And Simon Goodwin actually touched on that in his preview press conference. The journos asked him about it, and he said, "Nah, we're fine. We've had 10-day breaks prior to the previous game, so we're good to go." The D's then kicked this incredible goal. It was Wayne Harms-esque. Brilliant. I mean, what do you do? It was absolutely brilliant. Petrarca kicks another one, and I'm thinking, all right, I was still pretty calm because I thought the D's did not deserve to win the game at that point, and it would have been daylight robbery if they did. Towards the end, just started thinking, I can't let it slip from here. They kick a goal. It's a 1-point game, about 50 seconds to go. And I'm just thinking, boys, you can't let this slip away, because it had gone from so professional and I don't want to say perfect, but it was so good on either side of the ball, offense and defense. It was so good. It was mature. And then in a matter of 10 minutes, the D started playing this Carlton style of footy and just going for it and just like emptying the tank. And, the game rewards you when you're brave. That's the truth. And the D's were brave. We went, I think it was a combination of tired, running out of legs, combined with we tried to defend the win as opposed to attack, the margin in that fourth quarter. It was almost like there was like a feeling like we had done enough to win the game and we'll be all right. And that, you flirt with danger, especially against the top 4 sides. They will make you pay for, stopping in your tracks. So the game management side of the way we play, it's got to improve. But the way I'm looking at it is we're a work in progress. We're not the finished item. We're far from it. So a lot of stress towards the end. Siren goes, you let out a massive sigh of relief, and you get into it, and you take the 4 points. You give credit to Melbourne because they were awesome in that fourth quarter, and I think you got to give credit to us because we set up the game with the way in which we started. The game will punish you for not being brave, but the game will also punish you if you don't start well, and we've seen that over the last few weeks. If you don't take your opportunities early, if you're not efficient, if you're not clean, the game is a 4-quarter game, not a 15-minute patch. So over the course of the 4 quarters, I thought there's a lot there that you review on the Monday or whenever they do it, and you're positive and you want to highlight some of those efforts. Towards the end, we've got to learn how to manage games a bit better. But I mean, we're at the end of round 9. We haven't peaked, thankfully. We are nowhere near our best, but that is the best and most mature I've seen us. That first half, I can't stop thinking about it. I'm really looking forward to watching that replay again and again and again, because I really enjoyed watching a mature Carlton move the ball. So, yeah, that was pleasing. Vossi was short and sharp in his presser. We watched Simon Goodwin. It's always really interesting to see how opposition coaches and fans think and talk about us now. We've started to earn a little bit of respect in the competition, and I don't know. There's something about Melbourne. You just knew, you just knew it wasn't going to be straightforward. You just knew, and lo and behold, it wasn't. So that's that. 4 points. Take it. Run. Player of the game. Thought Jacob Wiedering was absolutely sensational. I was so proud of him. And doing a bit. I mean, Alex Cincotta. The role, look, it's guys like Cincotta and roles like that, locked down on the toughest, most dangerous players in the competition, that it just, I'm so happy to see players like him on the list thriving. So many other great performances. I liked what I saw from Blake Acres. He's really elevating his game into a different level. Sam Walsh, prolific. Patrick Cripps, the skipper. Nick Newman. I mean, so many individuals, but yeah, it was a good night. And then we've got a nice break now, 8-day break, till we play the Swans at the SCG. Thankfully, we didn't get too battered and bruised. Chera did his hamstring. Don't know how serious that is at the time of filming this video, but we'll see what happens there. I think the big boys, like Pitto's playing career best footy in his position. Tom De Koning has added being a threat in the forward line now. It's starting to happen more and more. We're a dangerous team when Jack Martin plays, when Mitch McGovern's in there. These are two individuals at either end of the ground that bring experience and class and poise and football IQ. Can't wait to get Adam Sard back into that back line, because that just adds another layer there as well. Jesse Motlop will come in eventually over the next few weeks. We'll get Lockie Fogarty back. We've got to get some continuity with the playing list. 4 changes this week, not ideal, but also you've got to bring certain players back. And I just feel like once we get our boys back, get some continuity into them, hopefully don't get injuries at the pointy end of the season. We'll see what happens. But another reminder, you can't look too far ahead. 2 weeks ago we're saying, oh geez, we've got Melbourne and Sydney. Like, you just got to show up every week and take every game on its merits. So I'm pleased, room for improvement, but overall I'm happy with that, and get a good rest. Open training on Sunday at the club to celebrate 100,000 members. So that'll be a nice feel-good, event for us to go to, and that's that. What about you? How'd you feel about that? What were your observations of round 9 against the D's? And let me know. Let us know. We'll chat about it. We'll dissect it. We'll do all the recapping. And it's going to be a nice, relaxing weekend knowing that the game's out of the way. We can watch the other games of footy and we'll go from there. Go Blues.